Wife-carrying championship. Ever heard of a sport where you sprint with your significant other slung on your back? Welcome to the wacky world of the wife-carrying championship in Sonkajärvi, Finland. This isn't your typical track meet. It all started way back in the 19th century when some cheeky bandits got their kicks by nabbing wives from the neighboring villages. Today, that wild history has turned into a race that's part obstacle course, part couples therapy. Contestants line up to dash through 832 feet of hurdles, dips, and mud pits, all while lugging a lady. And remember, she doesn't even have to be your wife. Drop her? That's a 15-second penalty, buddy. And what's the prize for not breaking your back or your bond? Beer. Yep, you win your partner's weight in brews. So, whether it's for love, laughs, or the lure of free beer, competitors really bring their A-game to this one-of-a-kind race. It's a hefty challenge with a hefty reward. Toe wrestling. What happens when you mix competitive spirit, bare feet, and quirky British humor? Toe wrestling. Welcome to Derbyshire, England, where each July the Toadium becomes the battleground for the World Toe Wrestling Championship. Competitors face off, toes locked, trying to push each other's foot off the toes rack. The sport kicked off in 1976 at a lively pub in Wetton, and now it draws crowds to the Bentley Brook Inn. Despite a bold bid for Olympic glory in '97, toe wrestling remains more of a cult favorite than an Olympic event. Thumb wrestling might dominate the playground, but in the realm of quirky sports, toe wrestling is the undisputed champ. Ear pull. Imagine sitting face-to-face with your opponent, legs intertwined, with a 2-foot string looped around both of your ears. The game? Ear pull. A traditional Inuit challenge that's all about enduring pain. When the match starts, competitors pull on the string, tugging at each other's ears until one can't take the pain any longer. This isn't just a test of strength, it's a hardcore endurance battle that can lead to ear damage, and yes, often causes bleeding. Though it might sound intense, ear pull is deeply embedded in Inuit culture, showcasing their respect for the limits of human endurance. For those brave enough to try it, this game offers a unique challenge. But remember, it's definitely not for everyone. Cheese rolling. Imagine lining up at the top of Cooper's Hill near Gloucester, England, with your eyes on a hefty 9-pound round of double Gloucester cheese. Welcome to the Cooper's Hill cheese rolling race, a hilariously chaotic and downright bruising tradition dating back 200 years. At the whistle, participants don't just run. They leap, tumble, and roll down a steep, uneven hill, chasing the cheese that can zoom down at speeds up to 70 miles per hour. Most competitors spend more time airborne or skidding than actually running. At the bottom, rugby players are stationed just to stop the flailing runners from continuing their chaotic momentum. The prize for this bruising dash? The cheese itself, if you get there first. With the race often resulting in a laundry list of injuries, one has to wonder, is the cheese worth it? For many, the thrill and the tradition are all the motivation needed to take the plunge year after year. Tuna throwing. Down under in Port Lincoln, South Australia, there's a sporting event that takes seafood to new heights, literally. Welcome to tuna throwing at the annual Tunarama Festival. Imagine swinging a frozen tuna, not unlike an Olympic hammer, around your head and launching it as far as you can. Since 1998, the record toss stands at a whopping 122 feet. Thrown by none other than former Olympic hammer thrower Sean Carlin. Participants in this event compete for a slice of the $7,000 prize pool, flinging fish with all their might. And if you're concerned about the ethics of hurling tuna, fear not. The tunas used are unsellable spoiled fish that stores have turned down, ensuring that the event is as sustainable as it is entertaining. So, if you've ever dreamed of throwing something a little weirder than a ball or a discus, tuna throwing might just be your calling. Bo-taoshi. Welcome to Japan for Bo-taoshi, an extreme team sport that's part capture the flag, part battlefield. Imagine 300 players divided into 2 teams, each with 75 attackers and defenders, all focused on one objective: to tilt a tall wooden pole down to 35 degrees. The scene erupts as attackers charge, trying to breach a human fortress around the pole, with tactics ranging from direct assaults to launching teammates over the crowd. This chaotic sport combines wrestling, kicking, and intense strategy, often leading to injuries, and all within a frantic 90 seconds to 2 minutes, played by cadets at Japan's National Defense Academy. Bo-taoshi tests the limits of teamwork and toughness in what might be the wildest 2 minutes in sports. Regball. Regball, a brutal Russian sport, combines basketball, rugby, and wrestling into a full-contact game that's anything but ordinary. Teams of 7 battle it out, aiming to score by shooting a ball through a hoop without any need to dribble. Instead, players grapple and wrestle their way to victory, embodying the intensity of a sport where very few actions are off-limits. Fouls introduce a dynamic akin to hockey's power play, escalating the challenge and strategy. Among its enthusiasts is Khabib Nurmagomedov, former UFC lightweight champion, underscoring the sport's appeal to those who relish a physical and tactical battle. Man versus horse marathon. In the quaint Welsh town of Llanwrtyd Wells, there's a race that answers a peculiar question. Who's faster over long distances, man or horse? Welcome to the Man versus Horse Marathon, an annual challenge that started in 1980 from a bet overheard by a pub keeper. This isn't your usual marathon. The 22-mile course features natural obstacles aplenty, and almost every year, the horses take the win. However, in 2004, Hugh Lobb turned the tables by becoming the first human to win, clocking in at 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 19 seconds, and snagging a £25,000 prize, a jackpot accumulated over 25 years. And just for laughs, no, the horses don't get to keep their winnings. This race isn't just a test of speed and endurance. It's a thrilling spectacle that draws competitors and spectators fascinated by this unusual man versus beast showdown. Quidditch. Quidditch might sound unusual to Harry Potter fans, but remove the magic, and it becomes a truly distinctive sport. In the magical realm, players fly on brooms, scoring with quaffles and dodging bludgers. Now imagine that grounded. Athletes run with brooms between their legs, aiming balls through hoops and chasing a runner dressed as the Snitch. This quirky adaptation transforms a fantasy from the pages of Harry Potter into a competitive sport that blends imagination with physicality. Whether you find it fun or peculiar, real-life Quidditch brings a touch of Hogwarts to the playing field, turning a fantastical game into a real-world spectacle. Soapbox Racing. The Red Bull Soapbox Race is where creativity and chaos collide in a spectacular downhill dash. Contestants from around the globe steer their handcrafted vehicles. Think less Ferrari, more Frankenride, through a course filled with obstacles. These quirky contraptions, often themed after pop culture or historical figures, are just as likely to spectacularly fall apart as they are to cross the finish line, turning crashes into crowd pleasers. Scoring here is a triple threat: race time, creativity of the soapbox, and a pre-race performance that can be as theatrically outlandish as the vehicles themselves. Speed isn't the star of the show. It's about dazzling the judges and audience with sheer inventiveness and maybe keeping your vehicle in one piece. And yes, the costumes are as wildly imaginative as the soapboxes, ensuring everyone looks the part in this carnival of speed and splinters. Underwater hockey. Ever heard of underwater hockey? Yes, it's a thing. Imagine traditional hockey with a splash, literally. This game ditches the ice and takes the action to the bottom of a pool. 6 players aside, no goalies, just teams hustling to push a weighted puck across the pool floor with one-handed sticks. And they're all in fins and masks, flapping and diving like aquatic superheroes. Here's the catch: there are no oxygen tanks. Players hold their breath, darting up for air and back down, making timing and teamwork more like an underwater ballet than a brawl. Trying to watch? Good luck. Keeping up with the puck can be like finding your keys in a lake. Death diving. Death diving, or dødsing, takes diving to the extreme in Norway. Forget elegant swan dives. This sport is all about bold leaps from a 10-meter high board, striking dramatic poses in mid-air, and managing not to wince if you belly flop, which happens more than you'd think. Contestants try to hold their daring pose as long as possible before crunch time, tucking into a ball just seconds before splashdown, often after performing flips and other tricks. It's a real spectacle, combining skill with a hefty dose of bravery and a bit of masochism. Thrilling, chilling, and occasionally painful, death diving is not for the faint of heart, but definitely for those who love to push the limits of gravity and guts. Bossaball. Bossaball is like a sports blender. Toss in volleyball, soccer, gymnastics, and a dash of capoeira, and you get this high-flying game played on an inflatable court. The setup? A net, 2 trampolines, and teams hustling to score with up to 5 touches, aiming to bounce the ball off the opponent's trampoline for those juicy extra points. Players choose between classic volleyball-style hits or flashier football-style moves, where even a double touch is fair game. The real showstopper? The acrobatic kicks and tricks, all performed to a beat. It's part athletic event, part dance-off. With Bossaball, you're in for a bouncy, beat-driven battle, where keeping your cool and your rhythm counts. Cycle ball. Cycle ball, also known as radball, is soccer on bicycles. Invented in 1883 by Nicholas Edward Kaufman, this sport features 2-player teams maneuvering a ball with their bikes and heads. No hands allowed. The bikes are fixed gear with no brakes, adding to the challenge. Popular especially in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and the Czech Republic, cycleball has a rich history, including 20 world titles won by the Czech Pospišil brothers from 1965 to 1988. This sport combines the precision of cycling with the strategy of soccer, making for a unique and thrilling spectator experience. Bull running. Bull running, or as it might more accurately be called, bull outrunning, is a heart-pounding tradition centered in Pamplona, Spain. Dating back to the 13th and 14th centuries, this event mixes the festive celebration of Saint Firmin with the adrenaline of bullfighting. Every July, for one intense week, participants and 6 bulls charge through a half-mile course. The goal? Get as close as possible to the bulls without getting caught. Many runners believe it's good luck to touch a bull, adding an extra layer of daring to the already risky endeavor. This isn't just a run, it's a high-stakes dash where courage and quick feet are your best allies. If you enjoyed this video, then check out our video on different wrestling styles. Don't forget to subscribe for more.